Good morning everyone, welcome to the official channel of Officers 24/7. My name is Amanjyot and today we are going to discuss the third mock related to principles and practices of banking. Okay, so before starting the session, let me know, am I audible to all of you and the PPT is also visible? Are we good to go? Good morning Dheeraj, good morning Murli, good morning Prajakta. Good morning all of you. Let me know, am I audible to all of you and the PPT is also visible? Are we good to go? Is everything okay? Are we good to go? So first of all, those candidates who are new to the channel, do subscribe the Officers at 24/7 and also press the bell icon so that all the upcoming sessions notification will be given to all of you. And if you have not downloaded the RA 24/7 application, do download the application, because from there you will be able to practice certain MCQs which will going to help you in your knowledge of basic banking awareness. Okay, and also it will be helpful for you to know what are the upcoming batches are coming on officers on RA 24/7 application. Okay, so everything is okay. Let's start with the first question, which is related to RBI. So question is asking that RBI has the power to print currency notes of up to dash denomination. So whenever we are talking about Reserve Bank of India, RBI is the central bank of our country, which is headquartered at Mumbai. And RBI works or RBI controls or maintains the currency system, financial system and banking system of our country. So RBI is the regulatory body of our financial system, or we can say mainly the banking system's regulatory body is Reserve Bank of India. So which denomination, how much of up to which denomination RBI can issue the currency note? Is it 2000, is it 5000, is it 10,000 or 20,000? So which of the following will be correct? A, B, C or D? Dheeraj is saying C. Okay, what about rest? So if we are talking about Reserve Bank of India, RBI has right to print all the denomination except rupee 1 under the section 22. Under section 22 of RBI Act 1934, RBI has sole right to print all the denomination of the currency except rupee 1. Okay, and 1 rupee note will be printed by Government of India, Ministry of Finance, not Reserve Bank of India. And up to the 10,000 rupee denomination currency will be printed by Reserve Bank of India. So simply we are saying except rupee 1, RBI can print all the currencies. Okay, Acha, the place where RBI is printing currency, that is known as printing press. So how many printing press are in India? Printing press, how many printing press are in India and where they are located? First of all, let me know how many printing press are there and where these printing press are located. And next is all the coins. If we are talking about all the coins and 1 rupee note will be printed by Government of India only under the Coinage Act. Under the Coinage Act 1906, which is latest amendment is 2011. There are 4 printing press, correct, and where they are located. Similarly, there are 4 mints where the Government of India is manufacturing the coins, that is known as mint, and there are 4 mints in our country. Okay, now let me know where these press are located and where these mint are located. Nasik is one of them. Okay, what about the rest 3 locations? Printing press are 4, mint is also 4. Okay, so first of all, Nasik, Devas, Mysore and Salboni, these are the 4 places where printing press are located. Which are those? First of all, Nasik, Devas, Mysore and Salboni, these are 4 printing press in India. And if we are talking about the mints, there are 4 mints which is at Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad and Noida. Okay, so these are the 4 press and 4 mint in India where the currency notes and the coins are printed. So currency notes are printed by Reserve Bank of India except rupee 1, and all the coins and 1 rupee note will be printed by Government of India. Okay, so the right answer will be your C option, that is 10,000 rupee. So RBI has issued 10,000 rupee note 2 times, and in at both times it was demonetized by the government. Okay, so 10,000 rupee note was printed in India for 2 times, but both the times it was demonetized by the government of India. What is demonetization of the currency? When the government of India stops or bans the legal tender of any currency. Whatever currencies we are using in the circulation, that currencies are known as fiat currency. What is fiat currency or fiat money? When we are talking about fiat money, is simply when government of India gives a legal tender to a certain currency, then that currency will be known as fiat money. And when government of India banned that legal tender, or government of India stopped the legal tender from any currency, that is known as demonetization. Okay, so we have printed 10,000 rupee 2 times, but both the times it was demonetized by the government of India. Now the second question is relationship between bank and customer in case of goods left by mistake in custody of the bank. So what relation a bank and customer is maintaining if in case goods by mistake left in the custody of the bank? So it is a relationship of beneficiary and trustee, trustee and beneficiary, creditor and debtor, or debtor and creditor. So which of the following relation is maintaining by the bank and customer at the time the goods are left in by mistake in the safe custody of bank? What will be the answer? A, B, C or D? Dheeraj Singh B, Deepak Singh B, Gaurav Singh B, Suri Singh B. Everyone is going with B option, that is trustee and beneficiary. As Lakshmi is saying B, Prajakta is saying B. Okay, very good. Everyone is giving the right answer, that is trustee and beneficiary. Bank and customer maintaining a relation between both of them, that is trustee and beneficiary relation, in which by mistake goods are left in the custody of bank. Next, the amount in a check is written differently in words and figures, and amount written in words is higher of the two. In that case, what will happen? So when we are talking about that the amount which is written in words and the amount which is written in figures, both are different in the check. Okay, and the amount which are written in the words is higher in comparison to your figures, then what will happen? First is saying amount written in number will be paid. Second is saying amount written in words will be paid. Third is saying lesser amount will be paid. Fourth is saying higher amount will be paid. Which of the following will be correct option? A, B, C or D? Which of the following will be correct option? Gaurav Singh B, Prajakta Singh B, Priyanka Singh B. Okay. What about rest? So first of all, what is check? Check is a negotiable instrument. When we are talking about check, check is a negotiable instrument and it is defined under the section 6 of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. So check is a type of bill of exchange which can be drawn on the name of a specified person. Okay, when you are issuing a check on a name of a specified person, that is also known as order check. So basically what is check? Check is a type of bill of exchange because it can be endorsed by the person, it can be transferred by the person to another person. That's why we are saying that check is a type of bill of exchange and it is drawn on the name of a particular person, on a specified person. Okay, now it is defined under section 6 of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. And what is the validity of check? What is the validity of check? Everyone is saying B. Very good. So the amount written in words will be paid. Right option for the third question will be B. Whenever we are seeing this type of issues, when the amount is different in words and in figures, then the amount which is written in words will be paid by the bank. Okay, now let me know what is the validity of check. There is a type of check that is known as a stale check. There is a type of check which is known as a stale check. So when we are talking about a stale check, what is a stale check? When the validity of a check is expired, then the check will be treated as invalid check and then it is known as a stale check. Okay, so very good. 3 months from the date of issue. Correct. Right is 3 months. So the validity of a check now is 3 months. Earlier it used to be 6 months till the year 2013. Similarly, demand drafts validity is also 3 months from the date it is issued. So the validity will be 3 months and the checks which is invalid or the check which has expired its validity, those checks are known as a stale check, or because these checks are treated as invalid, its payment will not be done. If you want the payment of the check, then you have to reissue the check on another date. Okay, right answer will be your B. Next, a check issued by a director A check issued by a director of a limited company is presented for payment after death of the director, which the bank pays. But the company raises the claim on the plate that bank cannot pay such check after death of the director. Which of the following statement is true in context to the when the death of the director happens? So it's saying bank cannot pay the check as the drawer expired. Second is saying bank should contact the company because loss will be of the company in case of dispute. Then is saying bank can pay the check as the company is still a legally competent person to contract signed as an agent of the company. And D is saying B and C. So which of the following statement is true regarding the fourth question? A, B, C or D? Which of the following is true? Dheeraj is saying C, Gaurav is saying C, Deepak is saying C, Prajakta saying C, Suri saying C. Everyone is going with the C option. Very good. Nisha, Kirti, Raj, Lakshmi, Murli, everyone is going with the C option. Very good. So the right answer will be your C option, that bank can pay the check as the company is legally a competent person to the contract. Okay, so right answer will be your C option, correct. Next, Kisan Vikas Patra scheme was discontinued in the year 2011 on the recommendation of which committee and due to which reason? The Kisan Vikas Patra scheme was discontinued in the year 2011 because of which committee's recommendation, and what was the reason of discontinuing this scheme? Is it Tarapur committee and fraud? Is it Shamla Gopinath committee and money laundering? Is it Nachiket More committee and financial inclusion, or is it none of the above? Which of the following will be right answer? A, B, C or D? Dheeraj is saying B, Gitanjali is saying C. Okay, what about rest? So first of all, if we are talking about Kisan Vikas Patra is the government of India security. Okay, Kisan Vikas Patra is government of India security in which anyone can invest. This is not for the Kisans or the farmers only. This is a government security. Anyone can invest in the Kisan Vikas Patra. What Kisan Vikas Patra actually does, whatever amount you are investing in the Kisan Vikas Patra, it will be doubled after a certain period of time. Okay, so whenever you are investing in a Kisan Vikas Patra, the amount will be doubled after a certain period of time. Now, what will be the maturity period of Kisan Vikas Patra? It depends on the interest rate of the Kisan Vikas Patra, because they are providing doubled money after the maturity. So the maturity period depends on the interest rate decided by Ministry of Finance, that on which amount of interest your money will be doubled after how many years. Okay, for presently it is 124 months because the interest rate is 6.9%. so in 124 months your money will be doubled by the Kisan Vikas Patra, and that is the maturity period of Kisan Vikas Patra. So it was discontinued in the year 2011 on the recommendation of the Shamla Gopinath committee, and money laundering was the reason. Right answer will be your B, not C. Nachiket More committee was introduced for the payment bank by Reserve Bank of India. Recently, Nachiket More committee was introduced for the payment banks started. Right answer will be your B, that is Shamla Gopinath committee has recommended that with the help of Kisan Vikas Patra, people are doing money laundering, and that's why we have stopped in the 2011, but it was relaunched in the year 2014. Okay, when Mr. Arun Jaitley ji was the finance minister of our country, he relaunched the Kisan Vikas Patra in the year 2014, and with the certain norms and regulations where we are controlling the money laundering activity. Let's say if you want to invest in the Kisan Vikas Patra more than 50,000, as we know there is no limit on the maximum investment in Kisan Vikas Patra. If you are investing more than 50,000, you have to give your PAN number, and if you are investing more than 10 lakh, then you have to give the proof of your income with in form of salary slip, in form of your ITR, income tax return, or in form of your bank statement. So you have to give the proof of your income if you are investing in the Kisan Vikas Patra. Okay, So these are the certain norms which was introduced when the Kisan Vikas Patra was relaunched in the year 2014 by Mr. Arun Jaitley. Okay. Now next is dash are the sets of independent organization involved in the process of making a product or service available for the use or consumption. So first is saying, is it selling entities? Second is saying retailers. Third is saying wholesalers. Fourth is saying marketing channels. So which of the following are the sets of independent organizations, okay, which are involved in the process of making a product or service available for use or consumption? Which of the following are that? Is it selling entities? Is it retailers? Is it wholesaler? Is it a marketing channel? Which are the following is correct? Gitanjali is saying B, retailers. Dheeraj is saying wholesalers. We are talking about the set of independent organizations. Independent organizations which are involved in the process of making a product or service available. Dheeraj, Gaurav, Neelam, Priyanka going with C. Deepak, Rashmi, Murli going with D. Ashok is saying B. Okay. No, the right answer will be your marketing channels. We are talking about the independent organizations. Right answer will be D. So marketing channels are the sets of the independent organizations which are involved in the process of making a product or service available for the use or consumption of the consumer. So right answer will be your marketing channels. Okay, these will be the right answer for the 6th question. Now before moving to the 7th questions, those candidates who are live in the session, do like the session once and also share with your friends and colleagues who are preparing for JAIIB June exam. Okay. Right, let's move forward. Now, what is the full form of FRBM Act? What is the full form of FRBM Act? Is it a Financial Responsibility and Budget Management Act? Is it a Financial Responsibility and Budget Maintenance Act? Is it a Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act? Or is it a Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Maintenance Act? So, which of the following is true? A, B, C or D? Which of the following is true? So first of all, FRBM Act was introduced in the year 2000. Okay, in the year 2000 it was first introduced. Clear? By Mr. Yashwant Sinha. At that year, our finance minister was Mr. Yashwant Sinha, and he has introduced your FRBM Act in the year 2000. Acha, everyone is going, no, we are getting two answers, that is A and B. First of all, if we are talking about FRBM Act, it was first introduced by Finance Minister Mr. Yashwant Sinha in the year 2000 and it was approved by the Cabinet, Union Cabinet in the year 2003. So, approved in the year 2003 by the Union Cabinet, okay, and it came into force from the year 2004, or we can say it was effective from 2004. Okay, 5th of July 2004 it was effective from. Now FRBM Act is, everyone is saying, giving different answer. Right option is your Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. It was launched in the year 2003 because it was approved by the Union Cabinet in the year 2003. So the right year for FRBM Act is 2003. It stands for Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, FRBM. Okay, and why we have introduced this FRBM Act? First of all, when we are talking about FRBM Act, it was the reason behind introducing FRBM Act to maintain the financial discipline or to reduce the deficits of the government. So FRBM Act was introduced to maintain the financial discipline in the country and to reduce the different deficits of the government, which is fiscal deficit or revenue deficit. After that, we wanted to give the flexibility to Reserve Bank of India to decide the inflation in the country or do deal with the inflation in the country. So these are the three purposes because of which FRBM Act was introduced and approved in the year 2003, but effective from 5th of July 2004. Okay, next. Again, the next question related to the FRBM Act, the central government has placed which of the following statement each financial year before House of Parliament as per FRBM Act. So what I have said that FRBM Act was introduced to maintain the financial discipline in the country and to reduce the deficits of government. Deficit means loss of the governments. And the third is to give flexibility to RBI to deal with inflation. So these are the main three objectives of Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. So which of the following are the documents which have to be presented by the finance minister in the parliament before presenting the budget? The FRBM Act is saying that before presenting the budget in the parliament, you have to present certain documents as per the FRBM Act's recommendation. So first is saying medium term fiscal policy, second is saying medium term expenditure framework, third is saying fiscal policy strategy statement, or fourth is saying macroeconomic framework statement. So which of the following they have to present at the time of before the budget presents in the parliament? Let me know which of the following is true. If you don't know the answer, then do write that we don't know, so that we will discuss and move forward. Eighth is C. Everyone is saying that is all except fourth. All except second and fourth. Okay. Eighth is C and D. We are getting two options. That is C and D. Okay. Don't know. Okay. Let's discuss what is actually FRBM is. FRBM stands for Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. It was introduced in the year 2000, approved in 2003 and implemented or effective from 2004. Now, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act was introduced for these three purposes which we have discussed. And the government have to present the certain documents in front of the parliament before presenting the budget in the parliament. Okay, before presenting the budget in the parliament, one second. Okay, now let's start. We were saying that central government has given government of India that you have to present certain documents before the parliament before presenting your union budget. Okay, so FRBM stands for Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. As we say that we have three targets to achieve by this particular act, that we have to control the financial discipline. For example, if we know about our country that every year our budget will be deficit budget because we are developing country, and as much government of India earns from revenue, more than that government of India has to expend in the development of the country, whether it is a infrastructure development, whether it is a social welfare for the people of weaker sections, etc. So government have to expend more every year in comparison to government is earning from the taxation or other resources. Okay, in that situation, government always have to borrow money from Reserve Bank of India, from World Bank, or from any other country, or from any other international organization. In that situation, every year our deficit is increasing, every year our financial burden is increasing on government of India. In that situation, you have to repay that loan. In that situation, the interest payment will be a burden on the government also. So to maintain the financial financial discipline in the country, and to maintain government of India, and to limit government of India from taking loans from foreign countries, or from RBI, or from any other method. So that's why we have introduced the FRBM Act, and it is said that the government of India has to present all the 4 documents before Parliament before presenting the union budget. All are true, the right answer will be your D option. In the medium term fiscal policy statement, government of India has to give the information related to what targets we are taking. Okay, what targets we are taking related to the budget, and what are our objective when we are presenting the budget for the current financial year. As we know, whenever government of India presents the budget, in that situation, what happened? Government gives the data that what a fiscal deficit we are targeting, what revenue deficit we are targeting, after that how much revenue we will generate, or how much expenditure we are going to do in the financial year. So everything will be defined under the medium term fiscal policy, and it has said under the medium term fiscal policy that the 4 economic targets you are getting, that is, first is your fiscal deficit, second is your revenue deficit, third is your tax to GDP ratio, and fourth is your debt, the borrowing government of India is taking. So all these targets should be taken in comparison to your GDP market price. So as a percentage of GDP market price, these targets should be taken by government of India and should be presented in the Parliament before presenting the union budget. This is the first statement, is saying medium term fiscal policy. And second statement, as you can understand by the name only, in this statement you have to give the expenditure framework to government of India, that how many amount will be expenditure, how will be amount will be expended by the government of India in different sector in the coming financial year. Now the fiscal policy strategy statement, in which government of India tells about the overall strategy of the fiscal policy, that is your budget, in which government tells that which sector will be prioritized by the government, the investment or taxation, borrowings, how much amount of these things are going to change the fiscal policy strategy for the upcoming financial year. That will be told by the government under the fiscal policy strategy statement. And the last, macroeconomic framework statement, in which government of India has to give the overall strategy, that what we are going to do in the whole economy, how we are going to control the aggregate demand or supply of the economy under the macroeconomic framework statement. So these are the 4 statements which has to be presented by the finance minister before presenting the budget in the Parliament. Okay, and the right answer will be your D option. Clear? Next, let me know FRBM clear to all of you. Now before moving to the next question, first of all, do like the session, okay, and then let's move to the 9th question, which is asking about correct statement regarding Basel Committee on Banking Supervision. So as we have discussed, Basel Committee for Banking Supervision was introduced in the year 1974 by 10 countries central bankers. Okay, so 10 countries central bankers had participated in the meeting which happened in the Basel city of Switzerland, in which they have decided that because of the financial risk and credit risk is increasing of banking sector, we should have a international banking regulations. On those regulations, each and every bank of the global or the world will work. So the Basel Committee was established in the year 1974 in the Basel meeting, which was located in the Switzerland. And the Basel Committee for Banking Supervision has given us the certain regulations related to the international banking, okay. So Basel Committee on Banking Supervision gives us the international banking regulations to supervise the banking sector. Dheeraj is saying 5th, Gitanjali is saying D, okay, right. So let's start with the statements. First is saying it is a committee under the Bank for International Settlement, that is true, BIS. So BIS is the oldest international financial institution. It was established in the year 1930. Okay, it is the oldest international financial institution. Second is saying established in 1903, the BIS is owned by 20 central banks representing countries from around the world that together accounts about 95% of the world GDP. Now this statement is not true. BIS was established in the year 1930, not in the 1903. And it's not, the member are not only 20 central banks. Now this is the 63 central banks member. So second statement is not true. Okay. And when we are talking about the third, the headquarters is in Basel, that is true. The third statement is true. When we are talking about its mission is to serve central bank in their pursuit of monetary and financial stability, to foster international cooperation in those areas, and to act as a bank for the central bank, that is true. So D option is also true. So A, C and D, these three options are true, and the right answer will be your second. Right answer will be your second, not 5. Right answer will be your second, that is A, C and D. Because second statement is wrong, because BIS was established in the year 1930 and 63 central banks are its member right now. So right option will be your C, second, B option, that is second, that is A, C, D only. Clear? So BIS act as a bank for the different bank, for the central bank of different nations. Okay. Now next question is identify the correct statement about the derivatives from the following. Now the question is related to the derivatives. First is saying the derivative itself is a contract between two or more parties. Second is saying derivatives are security that derive their value from the underlying assets or benchmark. Third is saying derivatives can trade over the counter or on exchange. Which of the following is true regarding derivatives? A, B, C or D? What will be the right answer for the 10th question? Gitanjali is saying A. Okay, what about rest? Derivative simply is a product whose value is derived from two or more basic variables, and that variables are known as your underlying assets. Okay. Acha, E option is hidden. 1 second. Now here it is. Which of the following is true? Naren saying A, Kirti saying A, Alok is saying A, Dheeraj is saying A, Ashok is saying A. Everyone is going with the A option. That is true. A is correct because all the three statements are correct regarding the derivative. So derivative can be the over the trade counter. It can be the over the trade over the counter derivative, and it can be exchange traded derivative. It can be exchange traded derivative. It can be over the counter derivative, and the value will be derived from the underlying assets, and it is a contract between two or more